Hello everyone, welcome to SGT University. I am Deepak Sharma from Faculty of Nursing. Today we will be learning about surgical and combined methods of induction of labor. Induction of labor is the process of initiation of uterine contractions. Surgically, the labor can be induced by following ways: artificial rupture of membranes, stripping the membranes. Mechanism of onset of labor due to artificial rupture of membranes is related to stretching of the cervix, separation of membranes and reduction of amniotic fluid volume. Its effectiveness depends upon state of the cervix and station of the presenting part. The advantages of ARM include high success rate, chances to observe the amniotic fluid for blood or meconium, access to use fetal scalp electrode or intrauterine pressure catheter or the fetal scalp blood sampling. Low rupture of membranes is widely practiced nowadays because of its high success rate. The membranes below the presenting part overlying the internal os are ruptured to drain some amount of amniotic fluid. It is contraindicated in chronic hydramnios as there is risk of sudden drainage of amniotic fluid which can cause placental separation. It is an indoor procedure. The patient is asked to empty her bladder. The procedure may be conducted in the labor ward or in the operation theatre if the risk of cord prolapse is high. Fetal heart rate is monitored before and after the procedure. The patient is placed in lithotomy position. Full surgical asepsis is maintained. Two fingers are introduced into the vagina smeared with the antiseptic ointment. The indexed finger is passed through the cervical canal beyond the internal os. With one or two fingers still in the cervical canal with the palmar surface upward, a long Coker forceps is introduced along the palmar aspect of the finger up to the membranes. The blades are open to seize the membrane and are torn by twisting movements. This is followed by visible escape of amniotic fluid. If the head is not engaged, the assistant should push the head to fix it into the brim and to prevent cord prolapse. And if the head is deeply engaged and there is insignificant amount of amniotic fluid, it should be pushed up to facilitate escape of adequate amount of amniotic fluid. After the rupture of membranes, following are to be assessed: color of the amniotic fluid, status of the cervix, station of the head, detection of cord prolapse if any, fetal heart rate pattern is again checked. ARM can impose following hazards: cord prolapse, uncontrolled escape of amniotic fluid and placental abruption, rupture of vasa previa leading to fetal blood loss, amnionitis, accidental injury to placenta, cervix or uterus and fetal parts, amniotic fluid embolism. Stripping of the membranes means digital separation of chorioamniotic membranes from the wall of the cervix and lower uterine segment. It is thought to work by the release of endogenous prostaglandin from the membranes and the decidua. Manual exploration of the cervix triggers Ferguson reflex, which promotes oxytocin release from the maternal pituitary. Criteria to be fulfilled for membrane stripping are: the fetal head must be well applied to the cervix, the cervix should be dilated so as to allow the introduction of examiner's finger. As an isolated procedure, stripping the membrane off from the lower segment is an effective method for induction of labor, provided the cervix score is favorable. It is used as a preliminary step prior to the rupture of membranes. They act by release of endogenous prostaglandin for the membranes and maternal decidua to induce labor and cervical ripening. Hygroscopic dilators such as laminaria act by absorption of water. They swell and forcibly dilate the cervix. Mechanical dilators are safe and effective as compared to prostaglandin E2 for cervical ripening. Transverse balloon catheter and extra-amniotic saline infusion is effective for cervical ripening. The combined medical and surgical methods are commonly used to increase the efficacy of induction by reducing the induction delivery interval. The oxytocin infusion is started either prior or following rupture of membranes, depending mainly upon the state of the cervix and the head-brim relation. With the head non-engaged, it is preferable to induce with prostaglandin gel or start oxytocin infusion followed by ARM. Combined methods are more effective than any single procedure. They shorten the induction delivery interval and thereby minimize the risk of infection and lessen the period of observation. So today we have covered about surgical and combined methods of induction of labor. In our next lecture, we will learn about perineal tear. Till then, keep learning, keep growing. See you next time.